How's it going, everybody? I would like to discuss the difference between liberals and progressives. Well, first off, I need to say this is a much bigger topic than just liberals and progressives. It also goes into how American politics are really just messed up. It sort of makes me mad when we talk about this because it just shows how people are uneducated and they mislead others on purpose. So, to explain, our political scale is messed up. We just think of left and we think of right. We don't think of anything else. We just think left, right, okay? And both sides have these weird accusations about each other that are completely untrue. They have some form of truth, but they are not true whatsoever. So, here we go. The correct political scale is a compass, if you will. It's called a political compass. Look it up. There's an up, a down, a left, I'm trying to think for you guys, and a right. That's how it works. And the up means authoritarian, and the down means libertarian. So it is completely possible to be a right libertarian, for example, or be a left libertarian, which I will describe briefly. American politics is all in the section of upright, which means authoritarian conservative, or not conservative, but yeah, it can mean that, I guess. We'll go with it. Even the left is in the conservative section. Strange. Very, very strange. So what does that mean? Well, the very little difference we see, there's a huge variety of politics. Look at European countries, look at Canada, look at, I'm trying to think of everywhere that they have a vast, majority of, I guess Canada is the best example, since they're close to home and they have many, many different political parties. I'm talking about tons. Like, they even have like a bacon party, I guess. I'm not even joking about this. And it's pretty insane. And they're a serious party that does exist in Canada. I've only been to Canada once. I don't know all that much, and I don't want to, trash Canadians here. But I'm just saying, in America, we think of this, cut thing, there's either three sections. You're, thinking on your point of view again, your left, your middle, or your right. You're nowhere else. There is no other spectrum. There is no up and down. It doesn't exist. Well, you know what? I hate to tell you this. It does exist. I am a liberal conservative, or liberal right, or whatever you want to say. So, right and left means economics. Left would be communism, right would be capitalism. And the middle, somewhere near the middle, more ranging towards the right, and I don't mean to trash the left, it's not the left, but okay, but right where most left people, I'm trying to use the correct terminology because it's hard with the society that doesn't know how to use the dictionary, but okay. What we see in America as the left is more in a socialist area. I'm not joking with you. Hitler was in the same place as most people that are in the left. So, yes, Hitler was in the left, but he's still in the right section. He's more towards the middle, but he's, he's on the right side, more towards the left side of the right, if that makes any sense. But he is on the top, which is authoritarian. That is why, for example, Stalin and Hitler, if you got them in a room and talked about authoritarianism, they would have a great day. If you were to tell them to talk about economics, they would completely hate each other. That is why they disagreed a lot, because Stalin was on the complete left, complete up, and Hitler was kind of towards the more right-ish side, but more towards the middle, and the complete up, which is authoritarianism. So that's the difference. They mean completely different things. When people say, oh, you're a socialist, you're a communist, they don't mean the same thing. Don't use those two words together. They don't mean the same thing. It doesn't make sense. You're literally saying two opposite things. It's like saying you are, right and left. You know what I mean? That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. You can't be both, okay? It doesn't make sense. So liberal is referring to the libertarian side of things. They believe in freedom. They believe in your own choice to do things. So for example, an authoritarian may not like gay marriage, but a libertarian would be okay with gay marriage. They don't have to like it, there's a difference, but they are saying that you have the right to do so. Another example, race issues. Jim Crow era, okay? People that were for racial, discrimination, segregation, and such would be in favor of authoritarianism, while people that were against it were liberal. That is the true meaning of liberal. So back in the day, in like the 70s and probably before that, liberal was used for the left. That was the correct definition. We used it right. But economically, we weren't using that right. I know I'm being confusing with right, lefts, but you get the point, right? I know, I can't help but say that word. So, right and left is talking about economics, up and down is talking about regulation socially, and for the most part socially, but it also is about laws. If you are a complete liberal left, you would believe in anarchism. If you're a complete authoritarian left, you'd be a communist, and you would be pretty much Stalin. That's where he was. If you were somewhere in the middle, I don't really know what you are. You may be more on the socialist side, otherwise you may be more on the communist side if you're towards the left. You know what I'm saying? How else would I describe this? If you're on the right down, you would be I can't even say the word, anarcho-capitalism, which is basically a libertarian for the most part, which is not... They are libertarians, but they believe in capitalism, which is the right. The right is capitalism. If you believe in right... how would I describe this? Right authoritarianism, it's going to be very, very hard. The problem is you can't really be on the corners. You can be, but they don't work too well, except communism is very easy. But, on the right side, it's very hard to be at the corners because people argue that it's not possible to be at those corners because it wouldn't physically even work. For example, if you are complete libertarian, complete capitalist, it's not going to work. It literally would be impossible to have a place where there's no laws but there's capitalism. You know what I'm saying? But if you're the complete authoritarian capitalism, there's no way either, because it just wouldn't work. It would become crony capitalism and not capitalism. Does that make sense? So this was a little like education I can't talk session for you guys, and yes, progressive is a whole another meaning. It just means progressing. It means making new laws or taking away old ones. That's what progressive means. Conservative means conserving money, maybe even values if you want to use it like that. That is a correct term. Fine. So you can be a conservative progressive. It's possible. It's possible. But to be a progressive doesn't make you a liberal. It just means you want different laws in place. For example, if I was a progressive authoritarian, I might want gun control. Great example, perfect example, that is not even used right in our society because that's not how it works. You know what I mean? We always call, liberals, the same thing as progressives, and this is the point of the video. A liberal believes in less control. A progressive believes in more in change. Okay, it doesn't mean for libertarianism, if that's a word, they don't have to believe in libertarianism. You can be a progressive liberal, but you can also be a progressive authoritarian and want authoritarian change. So people that want gun control are not liberals. It is not what the word means. I'm sorry. So if I broke somebody's heart today, I'm sorry. Ow, cramp. Sorry. I get those sometimes. So, yes, I broke the news to you. American politics is really messed up because we're nothing like any other country out there, pretty much, except, dictatorships have the same party too, but we have two parties that are slightly different, right? So, if you can tell, I don't like either party. I believe more in, I'm on the right side of things, and I'm a libertarian for the most part. I am completely different than all politicians for the most part. In the liberty aspect and the, conservative-wise, when somebody says they're conservative, chances are they are on the total right or very close to the total right. So that's true. Just look up the words, people. I'm not an English teacher. I'm just trying to tell you the truth that, we use these words really, really wrong, and we call people things that aren't true. I'm a liberal, and I kind of a little bit am taking offense to people that call me a communist because I'm the complete opposite of a communist. The communists are over here. I'm over there. I'm with the capitalists. You know what I mean? It just frustrates me sometimes. But, what can you do? And, I don't want people to take offense to this at all. I don't hate anybody. Well, I hate people, but not somebody that doesn't use terms right. No, that's silly. I'm just saying that the left has hijacked the word liberal and progressive and made it their own. And, the right is, I hate to say it, a little uneducated on the subject, and they don't understand what the two words mean, their backgrounds. So yes, that's how it works. So, I'm going to conclude this video. There's a lot of topics I could have went into. Like the Founding Fathers, for example, were liberals, super liberals, super liberals, and super progressives, but they believed, not in communism, obviously. You know what I'm saying? They don't believe in the left completely. That was, how it worked. I'm I'm just saying. So, I'm not saying be like me. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying educate yourself on the subject overall. That's the difference between a liberal and a progressive. I know this was very long-winded. I went into so many subjects, but I had to get it out. I had to just blow up, and it took me a while to do this. Trust me. It's already 11:30. I got home at 9:30 because we had school off early. I'm just gonna leave. Okay, bye. Like, favorite, and subscribe. Peace.